Hey Scrappers, I am Tricia Morris. I'm at Club Scrap and I'm ready to teach you how to put these Wanderer pages together. Got my page kit here, my trimmer, my accordion pocket file, my printed instructions, and let's get started. So let's take our little accordion pocket file and put it underneath our trimmer base here. And we're gonna start out with our photo mats. Those are gonna be in any monthly kit package. These are trimmed to 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. And let's test our little filing skills. Make sure we know how to get the right thing into the right pocket at the right time, okay? So let's find from our photo mats 2 of the sky blue here. 2 sky, and we're going to place those in pocket 1 and 2. Now, if you don't have the pockets, just put them in a pile labeled 1 and 2. And then we need 3 orange. So that, in other words, all of the orange, all 3 going into also pocket 1 and 2. Next, all 3 craft mats will go into pocket 3 and 4. And 1 navy photo mat also in 3 and 4. Next, we need the navy blue, followed by the sky blue. So that's the brighter color of blue. And here we'll have the Cutaparts next. Those are usually on the bottom of your stack. And I want you to find the one that has all the strips on it, just strips, nothing smaller than that. And then the other remaining Cutapart, we got the truck border here, the Jeep border, whatever you want to call it. Next, how about 2 of the craft? And this is just a beautiful craft. If you like crafting with craft paper, now is a great time to pick this up. It's a nice heavy duty, it's really a lovely substrate. Then how about 2 orange? 2 of those. Both of them. I love the mottled color of that particular orange paper. It's really unique and such a nice rich color. Then the remaining mountains print, followed by the navy plain. Then you should have a sky blue, followed by the remaining trees print. I'll put the print face down again. Let's take that whole stack now and flip it back over. If I went too fast, you have the joy of pushing rewind and just make sure you get everything situated, or you can just grab the paper you need as we go. It's kind of nice to have it sorted in advance so you don't have to be hunting down between every trimming session. So we are going to cut everything now for all 8 layouts and file each piece as we go. This first piece, I want you to place it in the trimmer so it's right side up. So the trees are on the left and right edges. Let's cut at 7. Quick reminder for you, if you're new with this trimmer, and if you don't have this trimmer, by the way, grab one. It's the best equipment you can have here. So the top row are centimeters. The second row of numbers here are inches. So I'm going to find the 7 inches, stabilized by pushing down here on this clear bar, and then slice. I'll go ahead and pick up both pieces and I'm going to place them in pocket 5 and 6 here. And when I do that, I'm going to do it kind of winging out to the side at an angle so I can still see the numbers on the side of my pocket. Then the mountain print. Now this time we have to pay attention. Make sure you pop it in here so that the mountains are facing this way. Top of the mountain is on your left here. Cactus is on the upper right. And let's cut it 7 1/4. And then 3 1/2. And just to mention, when you're doing a quarter, a half, or a 3/4, make sure you go left to make the number bigger. So if I'm at 3 and I want 3 1/2, I have to go left. I find that if you're newer to using trimming numbers, measurements, it's a common mistake to go the other direction. So 3 1/2. Place this large piece here into pocket 7 and 8. And then we're going to take this middle section here and we'll cut it horizontally. It doesn't really matter which way it goes in the trimmer. We'll cut at 11 1/4. That's way over here. 11 1/4, 7 1/2, 3 3/4. Okay, so you just made 3 squares. We're going to pop them all in pocket 3 and 4. And then you do have a little scrap. I did not use this. I apologize. This next section with the river, that's going to go in 7 and 8. And another thing you could do, I know I didn't have you grab this, but the instructions are on the front page. In your kit this month, we do have a sheet of die cut. We're calling them barrel tags because they're kind of shaped like barrels, the way they're rounded. Let's go ahead and distribute these. So the one from the top left corner, you're never too old to go outside and play, pocket 1 and 2. And you could use like a craft knife or something to first cut on the the tick marks. The tick marks just keep the sheet from falling apart into a million pieces. We have to have them, even though they're not my favorite thing. Live in the Dream, that goes in 7 and 8. And this next one with the mountain and the waterfall, plus the one that says Escape. Both of these are used in layouts 3 and 4. Okay, then you've got these two little guys. I think there's one I didn't even use on here, but it might be, which one is it? It's not these. I did use these in layouts 3 and 4. These are so fun to work with. They really add a lot. Then we have The Best View comes after the hardest climb, 7 and 8. Wander More, Worry Less. We'll pop that in 5 and 6. We Have Nothing to Lose and A World to See, 5 and 6. The Sequoia I just didn't use, so you could definitely find a home for that if you wanted to, but I didn't want my pages getting too cluttered. Getting Lost, that's going in 1 and 2. Let's see. Let Your Feet Wander, Your Eyes Marvel, and Your Soul Ignite. We had to find a lot of quotes for this kit, but it was pretty fun. That goes in 5 and 6. Then you have Breathe, 1 and 2. Calm, 5 and 6. Vacay and Mode. I want Vacay Mode together. I love that. Vacay Mode. That is 7 and 8. Both of them. And then the last 3 here. Pack Your Bags. All right. Pack your bags. All of that goes in 1 and 2. And again, I didn't use that Sequoia, but you know, have at it, especially if you're scrapbooking a trip to the Sequoias. All right, now we are back on our regularly scheduled programming with our navy blue here. We're gonna make several strips. So we'll start out at 11, and I want you to allow those papers to just pile up as you cut. 10, 8 and a quarter, 7, and then 5 and 3/4. 5 and 3/4. So again, you have to go left 3 columns. Now rotate this 5 and 3/4 inch piece so it's horizontal. We'll trim at 11 and a quarter, 7 and a half, 3 and 3/4. Okay, now take the 3 rectangles that are the same and the little scrappy edge. All of it, 7 and 8. Now, what I like to do here is pick up all of the strips from the side here, so I'm not trying to pick each one up individually. The top 2 are 1 inch wide, and 1 and a quarter inch wide. They're both used in pocket 1 and 2. Then you have this widest one, that's 5 and 6. And then you have the skinnier guys in 7 and 8. And we're moving on to the sky blue. All right, once again, we're gonna make a few strips here. We'll trim at 11. 10 and 3/4. So that's weird. We're only moving 1/4 of an inch. And then 10 and 1/4. 10 and a quarter. And 6 and a quarter. 6 and 1/4. Okay, now rotate this piece horizontal. We'll cut at 8 and a half and 4 and a quarter. Both of these are used in layout 7 and 8, the 2 that are the same. And then there's this skinnier guy. We're just gonna trim this at 3. And then take both of these and put them in pocket 5 and 6. This is a 4 by 12 right now. We'll trim it in half at 6. Both of these rectangles are used in layout 5 and 6. And then you have this real, you get small, medium, large. Take the medium one. That goes in pocket 7 and 8. The really, really small one, 3 and 4. And my apologies, I didn't use this one, and it's a pretty large piece for me for a scrap. I think I kind of lost track that it existed, so it never went on a page. I'm sure we can find a home for it. We'll set it aside and see what we come up with when we're together here. That's one advantage to actually watching the video. In fact, I read recently on Facebook that some of you have been around for a long time and have never watched one of these videos. I'm glad you're here. Now, I've already popped in this next cut apart into the trimmer, and I'm going to remove the outside edges according to those guides that are printed on the corners of the paper. The first cut I make, I don't go all the way to the marked guide because the paper is too big at that point to see the blade from the top and bottom edges. But now that I've made 2 cuts, I can easily see where those marks are in relation to the outside edge of my blade. So then I'm going to make some rotations here. So here I'm going to cut right at 12 and rotate one more time and cut at 12 just to be sure we've got it nicely trimmed 12 by 12. Then make sure the narrow strip is on the right here. It should say nature always wears the colors of the spirit. And then let's trim at 11. You should be going right between the artwork. And then 10, 8.5, 6, and 3.5. This piece in the trimmer base, 5 and 6. And we're gonna do my little pickup trick. I'm gonna do the whole pile. Try to keep it in the same order. It's just easier to deal from the hand. Go 3 and 4. Those who dwell, 7 and 8. Every day like today is wonderful, 5 and 6. Then you have these 2 fun borders, 1 and 2. Our final cuts are upon us, so I'm going to remove once again. I'll go shy of those guides. And now I think I can nail it. And remove that to turn this into a 12 by 12. Alrighty, let's make sure our little Jeeps here are on the right, and we're going to cut at 11 1/4 and 10 1/2, 7 1/2, and 4. Now rotate, we'll trim at 10, so making sure that the orange object is on the right, and 6. Okay, this larger piece, pocket 1 and 2, the square 3 and 4, and this guy 5 and 6. Then we have a series of circles here. Make sure the rectangle's on the right, and we'll go 10 1/2, 7, 3 1/2. Binoculars 1 and 2, compass 5 and 6, mountains 3 and 4, so much world, so little time 1 and 2. Journaling prompt time, make sure the binocular section is on the right. We'll go 10, 8, 6, and 4. See the tag shape here? If you want, you can go ahead and just use your best judgment to lob off the top corners of the tag. And we'll file this in pocket 3 and 4. I'll pick up the rest of these rectangles. The journaling prompt with the little Jeep is 1 and 2. The arrow, 5 and 6. The compass, 3 and 4. The binoculars, 7 and 8. Then you have 2 narrow strips that remain. Both of them go in pockets 7 and 8. I still have more paper here, and that's good because we need them to be the base of our layouts. So what I'm going to do next is get rid of my trimmer. So I'll lock the blade, make sure I support this, remove the trimmer, and just lay this on its side out of the way. And now I'm going to turn in my instructions to the very last page, page 4, layouts 7 and 8. So we will empty our pocket from the back to the front and complete our layouts from the back to the front, from layout number 8 to layout number 1. So I have everything queued up for us to do that very easily. Taking the remaining stack of 12 by 12s, I'll take the top sheet, which is 1 piece of craft, and I'm going to slide it off of the stack, keeping all the rest of my leftover papers on my left. So now I have it spread out in front of me. This is the base page for layouts 7 and 8. So I can look at this picture and try to recreate what I see I need to empty pockets 7 and 8. Make sure you get everything, even the littlest pieces down at the bottom of the pocket. And I like to kind of hold everything in my hand the best I can while I deal out the pieces, rather than picking up the individual pieces one at a time from the tabletop. This really does seem to help. And let's see, I've taken this mountain print apart and I'm going to assemble it in a little bit of a different way. So the bottom ends up at the top of the right page, top edge, and the top ends up at the bottom of the left page. Clever, right? It just gives your, even though it's the same kit and the same print, it gives it a totally different look. Now look for the 1-inch strips of the navy blue here and line them against the edge of the prints, and then we can nest the Jeep border. So sweet. Nest it onto there. Okay, now there should be a set of 3 navy rectangles. Those are going to be vertically placed across the bottom of the right side, and then you can take one of the sky blue up here, and then you have the Livin' the Dream 1 mile at a time and a little journaling prompt here. Now on the left, I think I had this running behind. You could go, yeah, I think behind with this. And then you've got the 2 vertical sky blue photo mats, determining kind of where this goes. You want it to kind of frame in there nicely. All right, now we have a couple of odds and ends. I want to show you how all of this works. You can pop the center out of your large tag, and then you have the 2 small ones, the vacay and then the mode. Got a little excited when I just carefully pop out those little openings. And this is, you're gonna love this. Okay, so what we need to have going on first is vacay. So take this 1/2-inch strip of sky blue and run it under and over the word vacay. And then we're gonna do the same thing with mode, under and over. Yeah, there we go. Vacay, oh, I did it backwards. I gotta have mode on the other side. I should have put mode on first. There we go, vacay mode. Then this is just gonna run behind like so, and it all gets placed just above our mountain here. Cool, right? I love that. Then I topped one of the silver compass charms with some jute, a little bow, just to get, bring the eye to it, and I placed it right here. Now, on this one, you could, if you wanted to, you could trim this to 4 1/4. I thought it was a little bit annoying to do that, but I guess maybe it'd be easier. The same height as the photo mat that we're gonna put this next to, and then you can cut a little V into the bottom edge and top edge. Otherwise you can just freestyle it too. It doesn't have to be exact. And so then this ends up being a scrap. This piece goes through and really adds a lot to this tag. So instead of that being a scrap, it goes right there. Cool, right? That is your layout 7 and 8. Now let's take a peek at my finished pages with everything all glued down and everything. So clearly this looks pretty much exactly like what we did. You can see the little V's, and just adhere everything down with your favorite. I use the ATG adhesive. This is what I use because the rolls of tape are really long. Okay, then on this side I've got the jute topped charm, and you can see my little paper border running through there. And that's all there is to it. Nothing too special about that. It's just a fabulous layout, ready for a lot of photos. Now take the base of layout 7 and slide it on over and pop the next sheet. So you're just taking from one stack, bringing it to the other. To find what I need for this layout, I'm gonna reach into pocket 5 and 6 and grab all of my goods out of there till it's empty. And let's see, I'm going to begin, of course, with the largest elements. So I have this piece with the big tree. I'm going to put it over here. Then I have the piece with the waterfall. I'm going to put that here. So I've just basically split it out over the orange. Now over the top, I do have this wide border strip, and I ended up kind of covering it right about here. And to the right, I'm going to add 2 sky blue photo mats tilted. So one higher than the other and overlapping slightly. I even have it overlapping into there. Then beneath that, I'll add this wide strip and nest it with this border. Now, Jacqueline designed this little image here to frame with the woodcut. So much fun. I had her add the word wonderful to it just because I didn't want you to have this in order to use the border strip, okay? So now it's so much wonderful fun. See, works really well. You can have more room for photos under here as you wish. Now you've got this fun little round shape, and I'm just gonna show you that. I don't know how long this is gonna take me live, but what's cool about this funky little edged border is you can be really imprecise with it. And I mean, you could get a die cut, you know, thin die, and use your die cut machine or your Sizzix or whatever to cut a circle, but I like to be able to wing it, you know, that you don't have to have tons of equipment to be able to scrapbook in beautiful ways. There you go. You've got a nice page accent over here. And I used the word calm. I stapled a little bit of a ribbon to that. Oh, I gotta be careful when you take up that middle section. And that gets kind of tucked in around here. Okay, now we still have all these other elements to distribute to the other side. So let's begin with our 2 horizontal blue mats. And I think what I would probably do is add this here. That's the piece that I didn't have a home for. This can be placed here. A journaling prompt is, oh, that's tucked in down over here. Sorry, I forgot about that. And then you have 2, this strip kind of anchoring down at the bottom with this tag. And then you have 2 tags of the same height used in the upper right corner here. There we go. That's 5 and 6. Let's take a peek at my finished pages all glued down. Some things to look out for. I took a piece of that patterned ribbon and stapled it onto the top edge of the tag, and the tag was attached with our foam adhesive circles there. Here, I did the same tag attachment with the staple and just ran it through and stapled it on, and then topped this with jute once again. And you can either adhere that with our bookbinding glue or glue dot, whichever you prefer. The facing page, number 5, pretty straightforward. I used our bookbinding glue, of course, to attach the woodcut frame, and then foam adhesive to adhere this and the calm tag as well. Moving right along, I'll pick up the base of page 5 and slide it over, and then slide the base of page 4, which is this mountain print. To find our answer key for this part of the puzzle, let's go back in our instructions to page 3, bottom. There it is. So let's see what's in pocket 3 and 4. Supposedly everything needed to finish this layout. How cool is that? You know, I got to recently follow some of my own instructions, and I got to tell you, it's really fun. So I hope you enjoy it as much as I did, being able to follow my own instructions. It was wonderful. Okay, so here we go. We can take these pieces, and I'm rotating them so that they are vertical. So yeah, you'll get the idea when you're putting it. It doesn't matter. A photo is going to go on top of those, hopefully. Then you've got this vertical border, and I'm going to flank it with a blue strip here. For photo mats, I'm going to go craft horizontal, kind of in the middle, and then this is going to be, you've got to really sort of figure out the spacing. So this is kind of where we're going to start. You've got this horizontal journaling prompt down here at the bottom. So scoot this down low enough to frame that in. So you want like a border all the way around here, borders that match. And then to the right of that, you can add those little barrel tags. You can top them with jute. Oh, so sweet. Okay, then above you have the square. Let's wander where the Wi-Fi is weak. And you have this guy. Now, Jacqueline, once again, designed a home. See the little lighter colored area in which to put the hello. Okay, here, the rough cut. You know, you saw me do it. It's super quick, easy. That goes down in the lower right corner. And then you have some layered tags up here. And I just tied jute to the top of them. Super easy. Now on these, I did add our D-rings. So very simple. There's a 2-part area here that has a hole through the middle of it, and you can pull up on that and kind of, it butterflies open. And then you just clamp this around the edge. Okay. Then you'll pierce a hole with your, you know, awl or whatever you have on hand. Here, this isn't appropriate. So you would pierce that, and then you can take the brad that we've included and run it through. That's all there is to attaching the D-ring. And I use either this or you can use a push pin, a cork board, a mouse pad, you know, anything you have on hand. You don't need special equipment necessarily. So that'll be attached. You put one on the other side, and then you can thread the silk ribbon through it and around to the back of the page. It's very striking. I also thought it would be cool. You could make like a mimicked hiking boot eyelets, you know, for tying your boots. You know what I'm saying, I think. Let me show you all on the finished here. Now we've got our little circle all cut out. Be aware, see here, you can slide your picture. I'm very conscious of where I put my adhesive on overlapping things, so the picture can easily be slid in there. And here you've got your jute topped barrel tags. Super sweet. Next on this one, you can see the addition. Oh, it just adds so much with those D-rings and the ribbon. And here I used my slot punch to just punch the center. I could have done another D-ring too. And then the open space here is perfect for one of those jute topped compass charms. Down over here, I just trimmed the jute and made a loop, ran it through the tag, and hid the tail ends behind the photo mat. So something to know in advance when you're doing the assembly. Rounding out, we'll slide page 3 on top of 4, yeah, and then slide the sky blue on over. And I already spilled out some of the contents of my last and final pocket, 1 and 2, so I'll grab everything else out of there. And this is just so much fun. My daughter did a big trip to Yellowstone, and I'm going to use this book for that. Oh my gosh, it's going to be spectacular. Okay, so let's take our 2 sky blue mats. It's going to bring that color over from this side. Then we've got a blue border strip here, so we can place that below the mats and then add our page title. That's why I love the border strips. Titles are hard. Like if you're just making one of our page formulas, what I find is that, oh shoot, a cut-apart would be so nice right about now. And then I usually go and find a cut-apart and make a title with it rather than create it from scratch. On the right side, I'm going to add 2 orange mats. There is a third. These are going to be horizontal. The third is going to nest this big cut apart here and give it some contrast. Separating that is a nested strip. So you got the navy blue with the light blue border going vertically here. So much road, so little time. That's going to fit right up here. And then below that, we're going to add our journaling prompt. And then we've got pack your bags. Pack your bags. You could add ribbon or add paper, whatever, to that if you want. The little breathe got added to the bottom of this getting lost tag, and that got placed right here, and with the D-ring added to the top of the barrel tag with ribbon running to the top. I had another D-ring here, added it right to the middle of this, and ran the jute from the loop over to the back. Cut this out nice and round and finish the tag here with yet another D-ring, and I think I had 1 or 2 extra rings. So I used 3 on this layout alone. Really adds tons. Let me show you. Here we have page 2. Once again, conscious of where your overlapping is happening. This was attached with foam adhesive. Here I used the beautiful navy blue ribbon here wrapped around that big pattern. Oh, it just gussets so beautifully. And here we have page 1, stapled ribbon on the breathe, D-ring on top of the tag with the ribbon running across the top, D-ring here with the ribbon running around the back. And I just had that, I guess, on the border strip before I attached it to the page. Now, I never do this, but I'm in the middle of creating a project. I have all the pictures printed. I'm going to make a triple panel book with this to give to our grandson. He did some traveling with my husband over the summer, and this is going to be his little memory book. And it's not done yet, but I just wanted to show you the potential for this collection. And I've got one picture added so far. That nature always wears the colors of the spirit. And this is going to be amazing, right? This is the triple panel book, and it was originally featured with the Flourish collection, I believe. And but you can make it with any page kit, and I chose to make it with Wanderer, and it's going to be so much fun. So grab yourself an extra page kit if you want to do some fun projects with this collection. If you liked it too, we do have a card kit and a workshop that corresponds with that. You'll make a dozen beautiful cards and then a really nice 5x7-inch gift box, card gift box to put the cards in, and it would be a wonderful hostess gift that anyone would love to receive. If you've been shopping for cards lately, it's ridiculous. Anyway, come and join me for the card class, and if you haven't already, make sure you hit subscribe, give me a like, it helps our channel, and consider a membership to Club Scrap if you're not already a part of our awesome family. Looking forward to seeing you again next month with our next collection.